I want to welcome everyone tonight, all of our parents, grandparents, friends of our athletic program, sisters, relatives, faculty, and athletes and coaches. We're looking forward to a great night tonight, and we really appreciate you being here tonight. And I mentioned the parents and the families that support our programs. If I can have all the athletes just stand up right now, turn around, and give a round of applause to your parents and families. And then also, on a cold night, it's going to sound great. I just want to remind everyone that once we finish up the ceremony tonight, we will adjourn to the dining hall for a dessert and ice cream social. And everyone is invited, all athletes, coaches, everybody here who's present. It's a great time to spend some more time together and have an opportunity to socialize with our entire group. So please make sure you attend that right after that. That'll be a great event, and we're looking forward to continuing our night across the street. And then tonight, just a few people I wanted to introduce before we continue. I'd like to introduce our head of school, Brian Easler. We thank him for all the support for Wilbraham Monson athletics, and certainly things that you see, but also things that other people see that he does behind the scenes to support our athletic program, our athletes and our coaches, and we really appreciate that support from him. My staff, Erica Whipple, head trainer, assistant athletic director. Gary Michael, athletic coordinator. David Weeks, supervisor athletic coordinator. And Craig Manager, assistant athletic trainer. And one more group before we get into our team presentations. If I can have all the varsity coaches, head coaches, assistant coaches stand up and receive a round of applause. We're going to celebrate our athletes and our teams, but coaches are so critical to everything we do. Tonight's a very special night to make sure that we honor them and we recognize what they do each day in practice, in games, and what they take home with them. Because as a coach, your team, your athletes never leave your mind. You're always thinking about ways to get better, be better, and to be a better coach. People say that coaching is teaching, and that's certainly correct. On the court, the pool, on the mat, on the track, course, range, they are our athletic classrooms. And these people make a great effort to make sure that our athletes receive every attention that they possibly can, and they achieve the highest level that they can each and every day. I really appreciate that. And also knowing that coaches give up tremendous time and a commitment to these teams. Varsity coaches and assistant coaches, you're with a varsity team, your energy level, your commitment, 6 days a week, 7 days a week mentally for about 3 months of active coaching, and then the rest of the year, recruiting, working hard to build your team, helping students get into college, whatever it might be, to build your program. These people do not have to do what they do, but they do it because they love their teams, they love their athletes, and they're committed to Wilbraham Monson. We greatly appreciate all they do. So please give one more round of applause for them. These kinds of ideals and commitments, this plays really well into why we're here tonight. And that's time to recognize our athletes. After 3 months of hard work and commitment, these teams have come to the culmination of their season. Sometimes, some cases they've ended, other cases they continue. So let's recognize these fine scholar athletes and their coaches. First team, as I call you up, and every team after that, please come up to the stage and stand here as your presentations are made. First team, varsity wrestling, coaches Shane and White.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome, and thank you for coming to the Varsity Sports Ceremony this year. I don't know how wrestling was chosen first in alphabetical list, but we'll take it. Wrestling season, long season, every year. These guys come in, they work hard, an hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes more than 2 hours a day, doing an afternoon activity where the school allows them to basically beat each other up every day. They work hard, they pick each other up, they put each other down. Again, the sweat, the tears, everything that goes in, the blood. These guys work hard through everything. We had some ups and downs this season. We were 10-6 in the regular season and got to the tournaments. Had some goods and some bads. Saw some injuries this year. Unfortunately, our 113 kind of lost his shoulder a little bit in the Class A tournament. We wish him the best in his recovery process with that. I'd like to ask our captains to come up and say a couple words, please.
He actually wrestled a grizzly bear. It's kind of not true. Anyways, couple of thank yous. Thank you to the Crockers, the Sudals, the Kendalls, anybody who brought food and came out to the tournaments and meets. And shout out to all the boys up here for working hard every day. This is the first time on this team that I've seen everybody actually bring 100% every day to practice. Everybody wanted to be here, which is something I haven't seen before on this team. And it made a difference. It was so easily seen. I'm really proud of everybody on this team today. Thank you.
Like Adam was saying, everyone on this team put 100% effort in every day. It was really good to see that. Kept everyone else motivated, and it just made the season go a lot better. I want to thank these guys for such a great season. Everyone put in tons of hard work, and everyone showed up every day for practice, so I think that's pretty great for these guys. I also wanted to thank my fellow captain, Adam. Adam's been on this team for a few years. He brought me onto this team when I was in 7th grade, so it's going to be tough next year to see him gone, but he'll be missed next year, along with all the other seniors, so I want to give him a round of applause for that.
First of all, thank you for people who helped us through the season. And it was an honor to wrestle with these amazing people here. And we worked really hard as a team, and that's something I'm proud of. Thank you.
Now on to our awards for the varsity wrestling team this year. This first young man came to the team, not a wrestler, never really thought about the sport, never really saw it, definitely an athletic young man. Ended up trying another winter sport this year and got up to the spot in which they were assigning roles for a winter track meet the next day. And he was just like, hey, take me off the list, I'm going back to wrestling. And this big lacrosse player, this big defenseman, came into his senior year, rejoined the team a couple of weeks into it, and had himself a heck of a season. Took 5th place in Class A's and qualified for the New England tournament. Had a huge upset and pinned the 4 seed from Andover Academy. Huge general rush for everybody. This year's 2019 Wrestling Coaches Award goes to Johnny Kendall. Yeah! Next up is our most valuable player, most valuable person award. This young man, you already heard a little bit of his resume with the team. 5.5 seasons, been with the wrestling team, kind of started a little bit in 7th grade, definitely gave it a full effort, started in 8th grade, been a captain for the team for 3 years. In this case, when you think most valuable player, most valuable person, Adam Kugelmas has definitely helped lead this team in the right direction. It's definitely left his mark on it. I think these boys will all learn a thing or two from him, and the team and the program are definitely going to miss Adam. Moving forward, we wish him the best of luck. This year's MVP for wrestling event.
Okay, next, we have the varsity winter track team coming up. Coach Hutchison, Casey.
Because we are outside at least 3 to 4 times a week, running in the cold weather. But we perform inside, and we have many meets at Andover and Rivers Academy, and those are quite exciting. So as you can see, I think we have the largest varsity team this season. We have over 35 athletes, and I want to thank the team for a good season. We showed up and performed well when we were at our track meets, and I have a lot of athletes for whom running is not their first sport, but they've tried lots of new things, high jumpers, long jumpers, shot putters, people who are willing to jump into hurdles, people who are willing to jump into relay races, and so I really applaud the team for all their grit and their efforts and willingness to try new things. Our highlight of the season, it was very exciting for us to win our first meet at Governor's Academy. We beat Governor's High, both our girls teams and our boys teams came in first place in that tri-meet. I'd like to thank Coach Casey. I'd like to also thank our captains, Maria Baltazar, John Kennedy, and Kyle Lee. And with that, I'll turn it over to our captains.
We had a great season this year. We got our first win ever at Governor's for the boys and girls, like Ms. Hutch said. Thank you, Ms. Hutch and Ms. Casey, for all the time and effort you gave our team. And good luck, Nick. Well done.
So overall, we had a great season. It was good to see everyone who never ran track to find themselves in events, like just to get themselves familiar with the track. And thank you to Ms. Hutch and Ms. Casey for helping us and guiding us through workouts. And it was a great season. Thank you.
So I just want to say that every single person that you see up here shine in one aspect or another. Like Ms. Hutch said, a lot of this for us is not our primary sport, and when an athlete is asked to take on a sport that they don't have a lot of experience in, it's hard for them, and a lot of people on this team, they took up that challenge wholeheartedly. Shout out Eric Kim over here. We had him compete at Governor's, put in 4 events. And as you can see, he's not built for long distance. He is a sprinter, and we put him in the 2 mile. The longest. Thank you for everything.
Suffice it to say, really everybody did something that they didn't really want to do, and they did it with the team, and I was very proud of them for that. So our coaches award are going to a female and a male athlete who just showed dedication, consistency, positive attitude, and were willing to help Coach Casey and I run practices each and every day, and really just kept the team spirits high. And our coaches awards this year do go to our captains, Maria Baltazar for the girls and John Kennedy for the boys. player, as a runner, we don't do games, we do meets, and everybody learned all of that. Our most valuable runner this year is Kyle Libby. He scored the most points for our team overall. He was an essential runner for us, placing consistently in the 300 meter, the 600 meter, the 4x200, the 4x400, and I even begged him to jump into the 55 meter hurdle, which is not an easy race, and it's very technical, and he did that and scored more points for the team in the governor's meet. So thank you, Kyle, for your great performance. You're an inspiration for the team. Definitely in shape, do well, and represent our school in your other activities this spring. Thanks, everyone.
Next up, I invite our ski team to perform. Yeah.
This year we had the largest ski team, I believe, in WMA history. We had 16 athletes. Virtually every single athlete had a great opportunity to race. They persevered quite a bit. We started out the season with lots of challenges and lots of apprehension, I would say. Many of these athletes never raced, never went down the ski slope with that kind of ambition before. And it was pretty impressive to watch. Throughout the season, everybody progressed. They did very well. They were very supportive of me as a first-time coach. It felt like drinking through a funnel. I had two great assistant coaches that without them, we wouldn't have been successful. I certainly wouldn't have been successful. I'd like to introduce our team captains, Nicholas Moore and Annalise Flores.
Everyone worked extremely hard and worked really close as a team this year. We just had our final race yesterday at the Knapsack League New England Championship, where 4 of us finished in the top 10 in both slalom and GS, and the girls took the Knapsack Class C Championship. This race for the first time. Jackson, Carmen, Nate, Rohan, Tyler, and Raphael, who all placed in the top 30 for every race. Many of the returning racers, Betty, Katie, Spencer, Nick, Asha, and I, came in the top 15 and 20 each race. I would like to thank our coaches and my teammates for making this an incredible year.
For all they have done to make this a great season. They were committed to helping every one of us to reach our goals individually and as a team, and we're very thankful for everything they have done. Our season was very successful on and off the slopes. Over the course of the season, everyone on the team worked hard every practice to improve their skiing, and it showed yesterday as the girls won the Knapsack Championship for the first time in over a decade. I'm proud to say that everyone on the team improved their skiing this year, and everyone was willing and excited to compete at every race we had. In addition to our results, this team was able to really come together to build trust and friendship. We're looking forward to another great season.
So I'd like to get out to the awards. For the Coaches Award, we have one individual that came to every practice with this huge smile on his face. He always helped load and unload the bus. I don't know much about skiing, but that's a lot of equipment. He came to me every practice looking for feedback and help to improve his scheme. And he did. He worked hard for that. I gave him the tools, he took the tools, and he worked with them. Spencer Hemingway. So for our MVP, we have another athlete that came into the season a little bit behind the 8 ball. He's struggling quite a bit. Was very frustrated, but instead of throwing in the towel and not working hard, he continued to ask a lot of questions, ask for feedback, worked with it very hard. And at the level that he skis, this is not something easy. These are very, very minute changes we ask of people to make, very fine motor skills. And he just continually progressed, and you can see the race results every week. It took him to finishing 4th in both the slalom and TS at the NEPSAC Championships, and that was a big feat because of the competition was pretty stiff. He was also racing on a hill he'd never seen before. Nick Moore. Thank you.
Nice work. Probably from the school, furthest away from the mountains. Okay, girls. No. Ready. 1, 2, 3. Again. 1, 2, 3. Very good.
Let's hear it.
Thank you, girls. Great job. Next up, boys varsity basketball. Coach Max.
Good evening, everybody. Before I call the captains up to speak, I'd just like to recognize the 6 graduates that we have in uniform and in Ron as well. We have Don Trickout, John Packer, Daniel Kloss, Gary Joseph, David Fisher, Saxon Thompson, and Ron Kozlovic. So a quick round of applause.
I want to thank Mr. Weeks, Katie, Mr. Local, Ms. Micah, Dominic for all the work they put in for the season. We give Coach Manning special thanks for the countless hours that he put in before, during, and after the season every year I've been here. Never really worked about it. This being my 3rd year here with Dan, John, and John, I couldn't be happier with you guys. It was a really special season. And I couldn't be happy for the way we ended on a 4-game winning streak. This is one of the toughest leagues in the country, and these guys that I recommend. And I just want to shout them out for being hard workers they are. Thank you.
A couple other thank yous before we go to awards. So first is to our group of 3 managers. Garana was tremendous doing the book during all games. Oliver to the team. Oliver does all of our stats for our games on the iPad. He makes sure that it's great. He makes sure that I don't throw the iPad and give it to me. And I make sure that I don't toss it or anything. And then Bert Lamb is our film guy, so I'm going to introduce him. Another special thank you is to one of our own in the Lotus, Coach Privet. Coach Privet, he coached the third basketball team this year with Mr. Portlock. He was busy every day with practice. They had several games home and away, and he still found it in his schedule to be at most practices, in most games, broke down film, got some scouting reports done. He was an invaluable asset, so thank you, Coach Privet. We talked as a coaching staff, and to be honest, we had a really hard time deciding who the awards would go to, the individual awards, because we thought we had a few deserving players for each award. So we split some awards, so I'm going to do this quickly, but I want to make sure everybody gets their recognition. We have co-coaches award winners this year. The first is a player who's been here for 3 years, has battled back from multiple injuries, and quite simply, he's just known as, and the team calls him this, our glue guy. He does all the things that help keep us together, the little things that sometimes don't show up on stat sheets, and he's tough as nails. John Packer. He was like a coach for the first 10 games of the season. He was in a cast, an air cast, and had an injury, battled back. He was like another coach at times on the sideline. Even took over one of the huddles. He battled back. And even through tough times, on the court when he came back, he kept working, and it paid off the last game of the year. Scored 16 points and helped us win our first ever road game at the River in May. So our second coach's award is Dana Fox. Our MVPs. First, our guy that did mostly, if not all of our work that had to be done in the paint, scored his 1,000th point this year as a junior here. He had the first double-double that was over 20 points and over 20 rebounds in one game in the last decade for the Titans. And next year should come back and he's going to hopefully score another 1,000. No, I'm just kidding, but hopefully lead us again next year. He was also named as our fourth captain in the last week of the season. Very selfless individual and hardworking, John Adams. Our other MVP, our leading scorer. He scored over 25 points multiple times this year, had a handful of 30-point-plus games. He really scored it this year like no one I've seen here in a WMA uniform since I've been here for 10 years. He was also the captain this year along with John Adams, John Packer, and Dan Klotz. Really was our catalyst most of the time offensively. And he finishes his high school career with over 1,600 points. And this year just did a lot of great things. DeAndre Todd. So I just want to thank the team again and look forward to next year and wish all our graduates the best. Thank you.
I could have all of our varsity captains come to the stage, please. Although you see teams come up as groups tonight, this is an opportunity to put a very strong group of student leaders up in front of you together so you can see the strength of leadership, the commitment of leadership, and the implementation of leadership that this group did throughout the winter season of the past 3 months. At its easiest point, they attend meetings bi-weekly to talk about different issues in athletics and individual leadership, good things and bad things that they deal with working with the team. That's the simple part. But what they do each and every day is extremely difficult, where they're in between their coaches and their teammates, and they get raised up, and the expectations are high, and they have to deal with difficult situations, sometimes difficult seasons, either win or losses, or personality issues you may have to deal with teams, different struggles, especially as you go through that tough period, late January into February, where the days are short, and things can get a little tough with the weather. They weather through it, they get through it, and this group I could not be more proud of. I think they know internally within their teams, the coaches certainly know as they look up at their faces here of what they do. They put themselves out in front, get in between different situations, and they just take things on. And they do the extra work. And sometimes mentally, they have to take it away from practice, away from games, because the responsibility and the burdens are even greater for them. And so publicly, I would just like to thank this group on behalf of the athletic department and on behalf of our school for all they do as team captains. Let's give a round of applause. Just as a small token and symbol of their leadership and our appreciation for that, Ms. Whipple is handing each of them a captain's pin. Put on their belt, along with Mercy Liquor. Our 2018-19 varsity captains. Thank you.
John, Kazuki, Erica, one more, Ingrid. Okay, staying up top is Will, John, Dan, JJ, Doobie, and John. I think that's it. Everybody else who I didn't say, come down to the spectrum, please. We should be good. Okay, Kazuki, can you go in the middle?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Brandy, can you go up? And Julie, can you come down? Yep, and then one more. You're sliding down. Great, great. Michael, beautiful, beautiful. Just a little. Good, great, okay. Take one else. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, spring break.
Our varsity swim team, Coach Wilbraham, Walsh, and Conley.
I'd like to also recognize my assistant coaches, Greg Walsh and Dean Kavanaugh. For me to be the best that I can be, I need help in organization. I need help taking care of the little details. And this year, I felt like the two of them took it upon themselves to be proactive. They always knew what I needed before I did, and they dedicated themselves to learning even more about the sport and really took the new guys under their wing. and were empowering and uplifting and a big role in their success this season. I also want to give a shout out to one of our managers in particular, who I think would be considered head manager, sort of our meat runner, and that is Steve. On Access, Julie Shin, Mike Lee, and Jack Wilson.
I've been incredibly fortunate to have been part of this team for 4 years, and I can honestly say that this past season has been the most rewarding and successful of my time here. This season was filled with relay records and personal bests for so many members of our team, and we're not even done yet. It's been an honor to have been a captain for the past 2 years, and I have enjoyed every moment of getting to know the entire team and watching them all grow as swimmers throughout the season. I'm so privileged to have such amazing teammates. They have all made me extremely proud, and I know we'll definitely make WBA proud this weekend at New England.
From the first day of practice, I was super excited for this season, and surprised by the number of swimmers that had showed up. As with every season, there's a variety of experience levels, but this team had something special. I've been a part of this team for 6 seasons, and I've never seen a team as close or as energetic as you guys are on the pool deck. Whenever there's a swimmer in the water to meet, you guys are off the bench, on the side of the pool, screaming and waving your arms around until you're red in the face. With such a variety of experience levels, it can sometimes be hard for a team to connect, because every swimmer has different goals, schedules, and things to improve on. It's also difficult to connect because we have to constantly have our faces in the water, and we are separated by super sharp plastic discs meant to keep us in our lanes. As the season progressed and the sets got harder and longer, the team got closer, and we began dropping times meet after meet. Some swimmers had a lifetime experience, and others had never swam competitively before. Some of you new swimmers probably started off the season with the idea that swimming would be fun and easy. Well, you live, you learn. But now you can truly call yourselves swimmers, because if there's one word that describes a swimmer, it's dedication. Every single one of you has stared at a black line at the bottom of the pool every day and swam your hearts out. And it all leads up to this weekend. You are all in your prime right now. You are tapered, shaved, and ready for the best swims of your life. To all of my teammates standing up here tonight, I would like to thank each and every one of you for a great final season, and I look forward to seeing what you guys will do this weekend.
This is my 11th season coaching boys and girls swimming here, and I can say I have not had a group collectively work as hard as these guys. And I mean that 100%, no hyperbole. Going into long weekend, I looked at them and I thought, man, you guys are dead. And then usually, and that's pretty normal because we have a little break in the train and kids work hard. And usually when they come back from long weekend, they've got a little jump in their step, and then I beat them up again before we start resting off for the meet. But these kids came back and they weren't recovered yet. And I thought, wow. They worked really, really hard. Really hard. And it showed. Last weekend we had kids, one young woman who's been swimming since she was an 8-pounder dropped 9 seconds in an event because of the hard work and dedication that she put in. Dedication and determination. These 2 words embody this team. And I am exceedingly proud to stand here in front of you with 1 meet left. We have the top 3 seeds in over 50% of New England events coming up this weekend. That means half the events being swum this weekend, WMA has a swimmer either in 1st position, 2nd position, or 3rd position. Most of those are number 1. We've got kids who have never scored in championships before. They're now moving up into 15th, 16th, even 10th, even 8th place. Ahead from the dedication and hard work that they've done. And this could be one of our most successful seasons ever. The Captain's Awards, both on the boys and girls side, the 2 individuals receiving this award, embody the all the aspects that make this team special and make this team great. They're dedicated, they're determined, they react well to setbacks. I'll talk a little bit about the girls recipient. I first saw her swim as an 8th grader at a Park and Rec Championship, and I thought, man, she's a wiggler. And now a wiggler is somebody who works real hard, but doesn't really go. It's a technical term for swimming. And then after 2 years working here, she was still kind of a wiggler. And then something clicked right from the start. I would put her in one lane and she'd move herself into the next one and the harder lane over. She'd come up to me this year and start asking, you know, what can I do better? I want to focus on something. I want a specialty. There was a direction she found. And every time when she'd go back to wiggling, I'd say, hey, you're wiggling. And she'd smile at me and she'd go, yeah. And then she'd fix it right away. The Coaches Award this year for the girls goes to Isabel Gomes. Worked so hard and asked me so many questions. I thought he'd been on the team for 4 years at least. And that is a great thing, right? He's only a second-year swimmer, but he grabs the bull by the horns. He steps up every single practice, puts in his best effort, and then he wants to stay after and work on his flip turn or work on his catch or whatever else he needs to work on. He's going to be on one of our 8 relays this year. He's been an excellent captain. The Coaches Award goes to Michael. On the boys' side, he's the #1 seed in the 100 freestyle going into New England Championships and the #2 seed in the 50 freestyle going into New England Championships. He was first in the 200 IM and second in the 100 breast last weekend at the Babcock Invitational, and those are his off events. He has almost a perfect record this season, just missed our pool record by less than a quarter of a second. He's been a leader, captain, 6-year member of the team, Jack Wilson. At all, you know that Anya holds pool records not just at various prep schools around New England, but also at a NESCAC school where she broke a record that was set at a NESCAC championship less than 5 years ago. Yeah, we can clap about that. As great a talent and as hard as she works, I think one of the things that makes her most phenomenal and deserving of MVP is her selflessness. This past weekend, she missed the pool record at Williston by fractions of a second. And everybody, myself, the Williston coach, other coaches, were putting pressure on her. Hey, why don't we lead off the 400 free relay? And she came to me and she said, I don't think we're the fastest we can be if I'm leading it off. I want to go last. Now, for those of you who don't know, if you break a record on a relay, it only counts if you swim first. And she gave up that opportunity because she felt that that gave her team the best chance to win. A true MVP in spirit, mind, body, mind.
Next up, varsity referee, Coach Monson.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to start off by thanking Mr. Easler. Without his unwavering support, our program probably wouldn't exist. So a special shout out to Brian. We had another very successful season this year, despite losing 6 seniors to graduation, 3 of which were all state last year. We also lost 3 team members that didn't come back from last year's team, so we lost over 75% of our roster. We still managed to go undefeated in the regular season for a 3rd year in a row. We captured the NRA 4-position Scholastic Sectional for the 3rd year in a row. We three-peated as prep school champions for the 3rd year in a row. And we just had our high school championship on Tuesday, and unfortunately we finished 2nd. We came 5 points out of first place, but we shot probably our 2nd best score of the year. We had our last practice yesterday, and a little range cleanup, and these guys took it really hard. They were all crying during practice. But we'll definitely be back next year. Special shout out to the seniors, especially the ones that were on the team for multiple seasons: Erica Condry, Sarah Labby, Matt Wen. They probably enjoyed the best three-year stretch of. Oh yeah, Nick Spellman. Yeah, probably the best 3-year stretch in WMA riflery history, and they have a lot of reason for it. My captain's will talk.
So I want to start by saying how incredibly proud I am of every single person on this team, whether they were a new member or a returning senior. Even though we didn't reach our ultimate goal at the end of the season, I think we all learned something, and one of those things is that we don't have to win every single match to be a good team. I'm so grateful to be part of such a wonderful group of people. This is my favorite group of people that I've ever been a part of. This team has kept me sane for the past 4 years, for the most part, and they really are all my best friends, and I love them so much. I want to thank them for all being my role models and for being my family. And above all, I want to thank Coach Cassidy for being more than just a coach. He's the biggest reason for our success. He keeps everyone in line, making sure that we not only shoot well, but that we're happy to. Again, thank you guys for everything. I'm going to miss all of them terribly next year. So I'll definitely come home to see them shoot. They've made me a better person, and I wish everyone the best next season, and I'll be with you.
So, like Erica said, I can't even begin to say how proud I am of everyone, how they did this year. At the beginning of the season, I have to say I was really worried after graduating. 6 seniors from last year, all of them were some of our top shooters. But then at our very first match, we had a lot of our returners, even a couple of our new shooters. They really stepped up to the plate, helped us get some of our top scores for the season. And then I also want to say that, I really appreciate it. One of my things that I really respect about the sport is across team lines, there's this real mutual respect that everyone has for each other. No matter what skills you have, everyone is very congratulative if you get a high score, which unfortunately isn't something I always see in a lot of the other sports I've participated in. So this team is always going to be one of my favorite activities I've done at this school. I'm going to miss it all so much. All the shenanigans we have on the range, even if Coach hates it. All of our inside jokes, team bonding, bus rides, all the songs. Thank you, Ryan. And then also I want to shout out to a couple of the parents who stopped by this year, helped support us. Thank you to my mom for all the brownies. I really want to thank you guys. You've all helped me grow to be not just a better shooter, but also a better person, and I'm really going to miss you guys.
Follow up on Nick's statement about all our fans that showed up. I think we set a record this year. I think we had 5 or 6 people stop up at the range this year. So we're looking great again next year. Coaches Award. Erica Connery has been with the program for 4 years. She's got many accomplishments, too many to name in fact, and her love and dedication to the sport is really what makes her the special shooter that she is. So our Coaches Award for this year is Erica Connery. Our MVP, Ryan Cordero. Ryan had a great season. He's just a sophomore, which is so exciting for us. His lowest score in the 6 league matches this year was 192 out of 200. He had the 5th best average in the league this year out of 133 shooters. He also had the best performances in our toughest matches. In the prep school gallery match, he shot a 196, and in the high school championship on Tuesday, a 197, 1 point off the school record. So our MVP is Ryan Cordero.
Achievements for the year. We started the year, we went to AIT's Kings of Oxford Invitational Tournament in December, and we won that for the 2nd year in a row. Especially special for me in the girls' league, because that's where I went to high school. I never won the tournament I played, coached there on the men's side, on the boys' side, so it's been helping us win our 2nd one in 2 years, which was fun to me. Alana Perkins was all tournament team in that tournament, and Angela Washington was MVP of the tournament. And then, you know, it was a great season right now. We're 15-6. We punched another berth, our 4th one in our last 4 years for the postseason tournament. Class C in girls basketball has 23 teams, and the top 8 teams make it. And so for us to be seeded 4th this year, for the 4th year, we'll make the tournament was huge for us. And this is a really special group of young and old. It's a really good mix. And so that was a great accomplishment. My seniors have a ton of people to thank. I personally would thank Coach Sharon, and I think the girls do too. I'm mad cop, she's a good cop. And I think, in all seriousness, her being the mom of 2 girls around their age, she does a great job of relating to them, and they love talking to her, not just about basketball, but about life, kind of like what she sees and things, and hearing her opinion means a ton to them. So the relationship she's built in the last 4 months with me is amazing. And it's been amazing to work with her as a coach. You know, I always say to the girls, she's my assistant coach. She's a former head coach as well, so I tell them to go to her whenever they need something, because she has a ton of wisdom. Now, besides my fantastic senior manager, I want to bring up my 5 fabulous seniors who come up here to speak.
Okay, we would like to thank everyone at the Academy for the support throughout the season, from Mr. Easler to Ms. Micah to Mr. Weeks to Ms. Whipple and Katie, Mr. Nick for not only being our trainer but one of our biggest fans, to the dining hall for making our away trip sail smoothly, and to the families and friends who have came out to all the games. A special shout out to Mr. Walls for the live streams, great commentary, and constantly supporting us on and off the court. And we couldn't have that without you all. Thank you.
It's great that they work a lot harder than they talk. This is like a very so for our awards, I mean, I think it's pretty clear. So that it wasn't hard. I mean, it's always hard to deviate from the team, but Coach's Award for us was become kind of like, to Coach Manson's point, the Blue Girl Award for me. When I think about it, teams have people who are always recognized and always, motivated for everything they do. You have this player or two, that they do all the little things. They never want recognition. They come to work every single day. They're always positive. They always work hard. They're always picking their teammate. And so when I think about Anna Salvador and everything she has meant to this team, where it's not always going well for her, and she, no matter what, she has become, which I think is amazing, right? But one who I can yell at, look her dead in her eyes, she looks me dead in her eyes, and she's told her. And usually she plays better. Which, think about that last year. I don't even think I can say anything last year. And so how far she's come in that regard, and just constantly picking up her teammates, never winning the ball, going to get the setting screens, playing defense. I mean, she epitomized who she was yesterday, her playoff game, where she got 8 rebounds, made 2 of the biggest foul shots in the game, and that's who she's been all year to them. That selfless teammate who's always about it. Coach's Award, who's sitting herself. Our MVPs made it really, really hard. This was a hard one, and I mean, we had to split it up. I mean, it's funny they're on the program together. They came in together, and they are synonymous with one another. One is this loud, boisterous, energetic, always talking, laughing down, and the other one is this quiet, run away from the camera. You never want, anything to do with a lot. But plays equally as hard, but silent. And I think they've done a great job in 2 years of being yin and yang to each other and doing what the other one doesn't comfortably do well and making a really great 1-2 punch for our team and teaching each other how to do something that they don't really do well. AJ literally tries every day in practice to get AJ to have AP say something. Whether it's a shell drill, anything we're doing, she's yelling at Alana to say something, right? And Alana has this way, like, where she now, because she doesn't joke so well, when AJ is down, which is awful, she tried to pick AJ. And I think Alana never did that last year. Alana was in her own bubble, in her own world. And I think that she is with AJ and this team and got her outside of that bubble. And I think it's very fitting that they're graduating and they're leaving here being the 3rd, 4th, 1,000-point scorers in our school history. It's literally like everything they do is like right there next to each other. And they were also named by opposing coaches in our league to the NEPSAC Class C All-Star game for the 2nd year in a row. I don't know what I'm going to do about these 5 seniors in general, these 2 in particular, but our team MVPs, AJ Washington and Walker. And so our season's not over. If you have not heard, so now. They had a fantastic game yesterday. We didn't play too fantastic, but a fantastic finish. And just to show perseverance and just wanting to get more than someone else. We won our quarterfinal game against a really good 5 seed. And now we need to go back up to Proctor and the #1 seed in the semifinals. And that's at 3 o'clock on Saturday. Mr. Wills will be live streaming. We've already started our concentration on beating them, so we won't make it easy. Thank you guys.
Tonight, I'd like to make sure, please, when we conclude, that all most valuable player and coaches award winners, please come back up on the stage. We need to get some photographs taken. Also, all most valuable players, please, once the photographs are taken, give your plates to Ms. Micah. It would be great to return to you. And also, for this weekend, good luck to girls basketball at Proctor, and good luck to varsity swimming down in Connecticut at the New England Championships. Everybody have a great spring break, and thank you so much for a great winter season.